Today, let's get fashionable. Hello and welcome. I'm Lindsay Crane and these are my retro craft dreams. It is high time I do a little bit more sewing. I have made precisely one garment. I am not known for fashion. I am not known for style. I really have been wanting to make some 80s tops that I can wear when my 80s sweaters are just a bit too much. For that purpose, I bought 3 patterns. They are all from Simplicity. They are all from 1985. They are all factory folded, which is a little exciting, but they are not in my size. So we are going to have to see if I can figure out how to grade them up. I'm not sure which ones I'll use. I'm gonna show those to you in just a second. I've been needing to do this all summer and I just put it off and put it off and put it off. And you know what? It's time to sew some summer tops for the fall. So let's dive in and finally get some sewing done and, you know, let's get fashionable. No, I can't do fashion. Sewing plans! I'm gonna have to get down in here. Who's ready to make some 80s tops? Now, my theory is that these are not actually gonna turn out looking very 80s because I'm not using 80s or even 80s inspired fabric for these. That was my initial intention. I was going to raid my stash. Oh, I thought the heat was already on. It just kicked on more. I do apologize for the noise. It's just gonna go on and off because guess what? I took so long in getting around to make my summer tops that it is now nearly winter. So the heat is on. The heat is on. Okay, so I'm gonna go through my plans, my fabric choices, and which pattern I'm going to use, which view of that pattern. And the first one actually was always going to happen. I love crows. They are my favorite. I need some good crow shirts. You might know how much I love calico. This isn't vintage calico, but it is crow calico. Oh, you're looking sideways. There we go. It is just quilter's cotton. I think I bought like a yard of each. I actually bought this fabric at the beginning of the pandemic for making masks. So I do have masks in each of these fabrics. The intention was always to use the remainder to make a top. And I was always going to need to color block that top because, like I said, there's like a yard of each. Initially, it was probably just gonna be like one color on one side, the other on the back, but now I can do better. I'm going to use Simplicity 6805. And I love every single one of these views. This one, however, the seam, the color blocking is just down the middle and it's just the fabric is turned. So this one, I have to wait until I have some really good directional print in order to do that one justice. This one's really fun. It's got like the V here. I don't really know, like, I kind of want to use these equally, so I'm not sure I want to do that one. So I think I'm going to go with view 2. I don't actually know what the back looks like. I haven't gotten all the way in here, and this does not have pattern pieces on it, so I can't see if the back is also color blocked or if it's solid. Top number 2. I was at Joann's walking down the flannel aisle, and when I saw this, you know I had to. I had to. Look at them. Look at these fun crows. Look at these beautiful things. So I bought 3 yards of this because I had no idea at the time what I was going to make with it. When I decided to try making a shirt out of it, I got just some black flannel. So we've got crows and black in flannel. Now, I have no idea how it's going to look, how it's going to fit, how it's going to feel to make these tops in flannel. I think what I'm going to do for the flannel crow top is the Simplicity 6806. So this one has just the yoke. The differences in these views seem really minor. This one has slightly longer sleeves that roll up. This one actually does have a button here, which you can barely see. And then the other difference is the shape of the neckline. This one's a little squared. That one's a lot smaller as a crew neck. So I think I'm gonna go with the wider neck because I tend to like that. If this goes well, we're gonna kick it up Lisa Frank style. Now, I don't think they go together. The other reason I got black for the crows was so that I could also use it for either of these. I also picked up this. So the pattern for these, I'm thinking Simplicity 6808. I don't want the lace insets. I could probably find some other way to accentuate those lines or just use that as a color blocking seam somehow. Possibly do this one. Could just do a simple color block with just the center as this black and this on the outside, or vice versa. Might not have time for it this go around. Anyway, this is top number 3, and only if it works for the crows. So I'm thinking, although the crow calico is a top that was always going to happen, it's definitely getting made. I feel like I should start with this one because these tops are not in my size. So I've got more of this. I can afford to fudge it up. I just gotta get started. What do I need? O and P. So I'm not gonna worry about cutting them like on the lines just yet. Just gonna get the pieces I need. Oh, so they've got a different neck binding for each size. Side to side, under the pit, we are at 22.5 inches, which actually would fit me, but without any ease. So I probably will want to add some, but we can also see that each different size is just adding half an inch there. So this should be pretty easy to size this one up. Says a person who doesn't know what she's doing, but I can geometry a little bit. So I think we're gonna be good there. I do want to check the waist. I am pear-shaped, so I may want to widen it more, but this actually is looking kind of pear-shaped. I dig it. Yeah, I'm 2 sizes up. So if I add a whole inch, that's what the 42 is gonna be anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and draw my line on here before I get to cutting. And then once I have that done, hopefully it will translate to the other pattern. Actually, you know, while I've got you here, let's just open it up. Okay, here we go. Here's the back of the other top, just so we can compare size-wise. Wow, fantastic. Look at it, it's practically just a straight line. So, I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think I can safely say this is gonna size up no problem. And this is why I heart boxy 80s tops. Just reading my directions. I think I can do this. I made a coat. I can make a square top. It is day 2. I didn't have very long yesterday, and wouldn't you know it, of course, I'm getting started about 3 hours later today than I had hoped to. Let me just So what I need to do next is make my pattern adjustments. I'm gonna add an inch to either side. No, wait, that's not entirely true. I'm going to add an inch and 3/8. That way I've got the extra inch for width, but then I'm gonna have a total of a whole inch for seam allowance. That way, if I still didn't get it right and I still want a little more ease, I've got some wiggle room there. I think it's gonna be long enough, but I think I'm just gonna cut the pieces a little extra long anyway. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to get through both tops tonight, but we're gonna see how far I get. I do seem to always underestimate how long the pattern cutting part takes. At least this one wasn't a blanket. All right, so I'm gonna get to it and make those adjustments and hopefully have a new top by the end of the night. If I do get my other top done, I'll match my pin cushion. I forgot I had done that. This is the line for extending length, but this is a pear-shaped top and I'm loving that. So, I actually will need the width. If I need more length, it needs to be at width. Now, I may not really know what I'm doing for pattern adjustment, but if you want to match a line and it's curving on you, you want more dots to connect. I know what I need. I need a roller ruler. Okay, excellent. These are actually all in a straight line. So when I extend that out, I'll be on that line. I'm gonna need paper Paper. It's paper. Water world? No? We're gonna go out an inch, but it's gonna land on that line so I can find where they intersect right here. I'm dumb. This is 1 inch wide. Yeah, that's all I need to do. I'm just gonna have to eyeball that. And then I think whatever they are doesn't matter as long as the two sides are the same. That needs to go to here. And then, see, now I can just hold that parallel and look at that. There's my line. So here we've got 1 3/8 of an inch. And here we've got 1 inch. Because this is extra seam allowance. It's actually 1 inch everywhere. Make sure we're the same here. We are cut, we are ironed, we are stay stitched. And now it's time to stitch up the shoulders. Find my notches. Buenos noches. So let's just try you on. The neckline is a little wide. I think my bra is gonna show, and I don't like that. It's so close. When I put on the binding, I might try to get it out as far as I can so that I can get a little extra width. So binding is the next step. I'm looking at these instructions. It's not like the binding I've done before. I don't think I'm gonna be able to like make the neckline feel bigger by fudging it out. Hi, buddy. They can't see you there. Come here. Toby. Come. There. There he is. Yeah. You just like it when I'm sewing? Okay, well, this one's not about you. Literally 10 seconds after I walked away. To go try it on and pinch the sides and make sure that they fit all right. I might check it for length while I'm there, but then after that, the next actual sewing step is to top stitch. Aww. So sweet. I tried it on. Because it has no stretch, I think it's actually still might not be big enough, at least on the hips, because I like my tops longer. I do think I'm gonna go at a smaller seam allowance. I had originally made it 1 inch. I might go as small as a 1/4 inch just because I like a lot of ease. But I'm gonna do the side seams and then we'll see where I'm at. Always bend again. Rides up like nobody's business. Well, there's the bra strap. My first shirt is not even done. And it is choking me. Top number 2, we're gonna see what she needs. in terms of sizing up. Didn't I do this yesterday? He just has to sit on paper. What are you doing? I don't think that I'm gonna have enough fabric for this. My fabric is directional, so this will actually take up more fabric than just a solid front would. What you want? I think I need to check how far my fabric will go. I got some bits taken out of it here. I don't know. I seem to have cut just the wrong corner. I don't think the other piece is gonna fit. Nope. If I had cut out of this corner, it'd be fine. Same story. I mean, if I was doing this size, no problem. The problem is I need to add multiple inches to the sides. I might not be able to make a go of this pattern with these particular pieces of fabric, so I might need to decide on a different pattern, or I might just make the other one, or I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should just do a solid back. I'm gonna check my fabric stash. Unfortunately, I tend not to buy solid color fabrics unless I have a specific need. So these are really the only solids in my stash. We've got the black flannel from the other top, and then this like plum maroon polyester that I thrifted literally just yesterday for a different project. It's not quite the same color as these flowers. I think it's probably gonna be in my best interest to just use the black flannel. The other thing is that I was thinking about it, and the pattern piece has the lower portion on the diagonal, but it does that because this pattern, it's playing with the directionality of the fabric in order to do its pattern blocking, print blocking, whatever you want to call it. But I am using an entirely different fabric for that. And this particular fabric, it's not gonna look good diagonal. It's not quite directional enough to have an impact. It's just gonna make the crows look weird. So I definitely am going to go ahead and do this piece on the straight of grain. Okay, enough talking. I gotta get doing. I've got the back piece from the other pattern here. This way I can just see how much I'm going to need to extend this pattern. The other one was a size 16 at its largest. This one is a 14, and this the 14 on the other one. So this pattern actually has a lot less ease. This one's a lot boxier, but it's narrower on the hip. So I'm going to adjust this to fit my hip. If I need to take it in across the bust line, then I can come back to this pattern again and just make this same line, because that's the shape that I am. So I think I'm gonna be using this pattern again. Now I made this one to have an inch of seam allowance, but then I ended up stitching it probably at like a quarter. So if I measure from that line out to the edge of this, it's 2¼ inches. I don't think that's gonna be enough. So I think I'm gonna go 2½ inches. And then once I have both sides of the back adjusted, then I can use that to figure out how to do the front, because the front I'm not going to be able to just put it on the sides. I'm gonna have to do something to account for the diagonal seam. I will also need to remember to extend the facing to whatever the new shoulder width is. I didn't realize I'm gonna have to do buttons on this, aren't I? I've never done buttonholes. Crap. Adjustment made. Well, I feel a little bit silly. I have been contemplating for like an hour, I don't even know, like staring at this, trying to figure out the best way to adjust the pattern while keeping the integrity of the placement of the diagonal. It's centered on the shoulder here, and what's the best way to widen this and still have the diagonal in the middle of the shoulder? Well, finally I had the brain flash that actually, why don't I take a shoulder measurement and see if I want that much width on the shoulder? And guess what? I don't. I think the original will still end up here. So I'm going to just taper it from right here and taper it out to here. This is where the bottom of the armhole is going to be. That also means that the diagonal, although there's going to be extra fabric here, the main point of contention was it being centered on the shoulder, so that will still be the case. Which means all I do need to do again is add width on the bottom, because for a while I thought I was going to end up also adding some to the middle, but I don't think I need to do that. Okay, no, it's not long enough. Oh, that's too, shoot. I need a much longer curve than either of these things provide, so shoot. If you need something round, find an object to trace. Ooh, I think I have just the thing. Haha! Need a giant curve? What better than a giant quilting hoop? Alright, and the other good news is that with keeping the shoulder the original width, I don't have to mess with adjusting the facings either. So now I can go ahead and cut those out without further headache. Although I still have to do the pattern adjustment, the actual pattern adjustment on the front pieces. Oh my goodness. This is taking way too long for like 3 pieces, a shirt with 3 pieces plus facings, and I've been working all day and I've only got 1 piece cut. Are you as annoyed about that as me? This cat ain't fussed about anything, are you? Except he drools. You a drooly boy. You a drooly boy. So now I feel kind of brilliant, actually. I got tired of having to make the same extension so many times. So I've traced it here. I've got the details written here that you can't see, and then I will just flip it and put it on the side of the other one, and then I can tuck it away in the pattern, so anytime I want to make this, I've got this side extension already there. I could have matched that crow and I didn't even think it. Fits. Pardon the mess. It doesn't look great, but anyway, it actually does fit, except I did accidentally come up a little high in the armpit, so I'm gonna have to redo that. If I had realized that it had a button closure up here on the shoulder, I might not have chosen to do this top right now. So now I need to make a list of everything that needs to happen, and then I can prioritize, see what I need to do with the machine, see what I can do sitting cozy in a chair, which is where I usually like to craft. Here is what I have left. I need to fix the side seam where I stitched up too high into the armpit. Then I need to finish the armholes on the calico and the sleeves on the flannel. I need to hem them both. Then I need to learn how to make buttonholes. I've never made a buttonhole before. I've done a buttonhole stitch by hand, but I've never made a buttonhole on a machine. And then that's all the machine stuff I need to do. Then I just need to finish the side seams on both, tack in the facing on the one and the binding on the other, and finally stitch on the buttons. And then I will have 2 completed shirts. Tried buttonholes on 2 different machines. These are the best looking ones. So I might just have to do my buttonholes by hand, because at least I do know how to do a buttonhole stitch. Again, if I had known that this thing had buttons Yeah, where are the buttons? Tell me where the buttons are. If I had known there were buttons, I would not have done this top yet. I'm a little anchored down at the moment. Well, I spent all afternoon trying to get buttonholes to happen on both of my machines. The Singer just wasn't having any of it. The Viking, I came close, but I didn't trust it, and I didn't want to just throw away yards of fabric trying to get buttonholes to work. So I have drawn on my lines and basted up so that I can just do it by hand. I have come to the conclusion, though, that I might only do 2 and then have this one be a fake button. I was already thinking I was already thinking that the outside button I would probably never undo anyway, so I think I might just skip that and put it on top as a fake button. And there. You're on my line, yes? There goes nothing. These don't look particularly 80s, at least not until I tuck them in. I have never ever been one to tuck in my shirts, but these look so much cuter that way. I might have to make an exception. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to do the third pattern that I bought, so if you want to see that in a future video, please do let me know down below in the comments and tell me what you thought of these patterns. I think these are pretty transferable to modern day styles, so let me know what you think. And if you did enjoy this, please feel free to give it a like and do subscribe for more. If you are interested in any manner of craft from the 70s and 80s, you have found the right place. I'm learning to sew, but I also love to do yarn crafts and all kinds of needlework, especially those from the 70s and 80s. So I do hope you'll stay tuned for more. That's it for today. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye!